Hey everybody, welcome back to Darvanalee Design Studio. For those that don't know, my name's Nicole and today we're here for a crafting vlog. It is the 4th of March 2025. We're going to do a stitch with me today, so let's get started. Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while we do a little bit of a stitch with me. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done a stitch with me, and I thought today would be a great day to do one. So I am working on Winter Warmth. This is the entire chart that you can see here. It's so cute. I have all the seasons, and this is by Little Dove Designs, and you can find them on Etsy, I believe. No, you can actually, I'm pretty sure you can find them on Etsy, but anyway, they're over on Instagram, and they're from the UK, and they also have a website. I'm pretty sure I got these from their website, not Etsy. So, I bought them quite some time ago because I started these in 2021. So, it was a little while ago. All right, so I have been stitching on this previously, and this is the new rotation for this week. So I thought I would do a stitch with me today and work on this one. I absolutely love this. I think it's super cute. It's got a little bit of back stitch in it because we all know that I need to practice my back stitch. So down our side borders, we've got some back stitch, and the trees have got back stitch, and then there's wording and all that sort of stuff. Now, this has December, January, February on it. I'm going to switch it around to June, July, and August because that's where my winter months are. So, and I'm probably going to put these in little frames and just have them up on the wall. I've got a couple of little thin spots where I can put stuff in the house, and so these ones will probably get framed up. But as I said, I'm going to change a few things up, which, you know, we all need to do that sometimes to suit our own needs. But I do love all the little elements in here. We've got some scarves and mittens. We've got a little bit of snow, but it's not overly snow heavy. I don't get snow where I am, but snow to me represents coldness. So yeah, and we've got, you know, little cabins and all that sort of stuff, and ice skates and everything. So I do really like this one, and I fell in love with them when I seen them. I especially love the autumn one, which is one that I've already started as well. All right, so when you seen this yesterday, let me just get rid of that out of the way. You seen this yesterday. There were a few things that were missing on this. So the chimneys didn't have snow, and they didn't have the smoke coming out of it. The little snowflakes weren't there. I still haven't done the back stitch, which I'll probably just wait until I'm ready to do that. And I tend to leave it till the end, but I think this time I might do it as I go. I'll just see how I go. I had to put the little snowbells in. I think that's what they're called. And this snow here, I had to finish the windows off, finish this off, and I put these elements in. And so that's what I did last night. So because I'm not doing my standard check-in and all that sort of stuff, that's what I did last night. And so now these are little pot plants that also have backstitch out of it. I have a lot of snow to get done, and I also have a big tree here, and then that, then the border, and then down, and that is the first row done from what I can gather. Let me just have a look. We'll bring that back. So yeah, so I am up to this point here. And so I've just got the tree and these little, I think they're, I can't remember what they're called, but anyway, these little flowers here, we've got those, and then I'll be onto the border. And yeah, so I am going to spend some time with you this afternoon and yeah, get that done. And yeah, I am super happy with how it's turning out. I love the colours in it. And I am using CXC thread. I'm stitching on 18 count. This is the colourway Storm. It is dyed by Darvanalee Design Studio, aka me. And yeah, so this is a darkish blue. For some reason, I really like my winter stuff to be on this Storm. And it just makes the colours pop. All right, so let me just find my sheet of the colour that I'm looking for. I do have my key over here, and I am looking for 898. So my question to everybody today is, how are you all going? Are you having a good day? What have you been up to? Don't forget to leave me a comment down in the comments and let me know what you were stitching on or working on while I'm doing a bit of stitching. I do like to do a stitch with me. It's a great way to get some more stitches into a project. Of course, It is the afternoon. It's around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm a bit late with my stuff today because I have had a lot of stuff going on. A lot of computer work and all that sort of stuff had to get done today. Bills had to be paid, all that sort of stuff. And it's all stuff that I don't film. And my day just got away from me. So, hence why we're doing, I haven't done much craft today, and we're doing a stitch with me. So, after I'm finished doing this, I'll probably continue working on this as well. So, I do like to get stitches in every night. I feel like I'm accomplishing a lot. And my main goal this week is if I can get this whole side here finished and maybe even start on to the next one, because today is Tuesday. So we also have... So we've got Tuesday, and then I've got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of stitching on this still. So I should get onto the next row of this if I don't. And the border, I'm sort of just doing the dark brown border, and then I'll go back in and do the leaves, because there are actually 3 different colours, and I'd like to get a lot done when I do it. So yeah, there's that. I've had a pretty productive day as far as catching up on paperwork and all that sort of stuff as well. So it takes a little while to get that, and the day just gets away from you. Like, no matter how much you try to say, all right, this is what I'm going to do, this is how long I'm going to spend on it, next thing you know, you look at the clock and it's 4:15. So yeah, but I have had quite a number of phone calls and stuff today. My craft is being cancelled for the weekend, which I thought it was going to, because like I was going to be cancelling it anyway, because I wasn't taking the risk of driving down into possible flooding areas and stuff like that, because we are still under preparations for cyclones and all that sort of stuff. We're pretty much sorted. The only thing I've got to do is move my car. Let me just count for a second. All right, once I just had to count there, because we all know that when Nicole's doing a stitch with me, she's more inclined to actually, yeah, make a mistake. I'm just making sure. And all right, what have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I've got a cross in the wrong place. No, I don't. I thought I have, because I'm counting across. I thought, oh, I've put that in the wrong place, but no, I haven't. It's all right. Just double checking to make sure. So I am working with DMC. I pretty much just do one leg. It makes it super quick for me. I don't know. I feel like I'm a quicker stitcher doing it this way. I'm probably not. Just illusion-wise, I guess, it feels that way. I mean, technically I'm doubling up. I'm going over the same thing twice, but I also feel like my stitches sit a little bit better too. So yeah, so as I said, I'm using CXC to the DMC matching colours, and let me just get a pin or a needle or something to get this out of the way, because it is catching. And it's driving me mental. Let me see if I can hook it up with that. There we go. I love it when a plan comes together. I've just got these little hooky things on here that yeah, I just needed to hook the fabric up on the side, but I don't want to move it too much, because that is a perfect spot just there. So yeah, I have just got those there holding my fabric. They're great little grippy things. They're bobbin holders, so spool holders. So you put them around your sewing cotton, and yeah, and it stops it from unspooling. So, but now we use them for cross stitch and holding fabric and all that sort of stuff, which is absolutely fantastic. Makes it super easy. So as I was saying, I've had a really busy day, and it is getting late in the day, so Savannah will be here in about 4 or 5 hours. She finishes uni about 5:30, I think she said, and then by the time she gets home with the train and all that sort of stuff, it's about 7, because she doesn't drive into the city. And yeah, so she'll pick up her food and then she'll drive home. But don't worry, she actually has had a nap today, because she informs me that her classes are actually split in half, like her day split in half, and there's a 2-hour gap, which she's not an early riser, so she's been going to the women's lounge and just cutting a nap there. So, and if she has a nap during the day, she stays up forever. So yeah, they ended up cancelling her classes, I think, yesterday when I spoke to you all. At that point, she was still waiting on an email to come, and she hadn't heard anything when I spoke to her, and then she rang me late yesterday afternoon, early evening, and basically said to me that she had received an email that all classes were cancelled as of Wednesday onwards. So the class that she was worried about became a non-event, the mandatory one. So she's pretty happy with that she doesn't have to stress about that now. And I think they said that they will send out an email letting them know because they don't know if they're going to get hit hard, if it's going to go, what's going to happen. So yeah, so basically they'll just they'll keep them up to date is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, so she's relieved to be coming home, I think. She just doesn't want to be down there, and that's fair enough. At least she's got somewhere to go. I think I won't cop it that hard here. That's why she's coming here. But we are prepping to make sure that, you know, if we do lose power or anything like that, and we just make sure that we've got all our stuff. So yeah. And I was going to get some kindling and some firewood and just bring my fire pit down, because I can have that down here and whatnot. But I've got a little gas stove out the front in a camper van that we've got out there that we got to renovate. So I don't have to worry about that now. And Brendan said he's also got a couple of little propane stoves as well. So, because we've had a couple of wrecks that have come through that people have got rid of because for whatever reason. And yeah, and they've had like camping gear in it and stuff like that. So we've stripped that out for the girls because they've been talking about going camping with their friends and 4-wheel driving and stuff. So yeah, all in good condition. So put that aside for whenever we want to go camping. And yeah, so we've got that. So he's going to drop that over. I'll probably actually just pick it up tomorrow when I'm there, but I'm dropping my car off because I don't want it out in the elements. It's already been caught in a storm once, and I really don't want to hear that again. So I said to Brendan today, "You got room in your shed?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I'm bringing my car over tomorrow." He's like, "Okay, cool, no worries." So he was supposed to be going to Brisbane tomorrow, but I don't think he is now. So I can take it over at some stage tomorrow afternoon. And yeah. So yeah, I think we're all, once Savannah's home, we're all done and dusted. So it'll be good. Get to hang out with her for a couple of days. Vlogs usually get a little bit slack when Savannah's here, but I'll still have stuff to do tomorrow, and yeah, I'll have to get all that sort of stuff sorted. I do have a couple of things that have got to go up on a Patreon as well. I've got a few photos and stuff ready to go now, so I can get that post all sorted out. I was just waiting on some photos. So they've come in. And yeah. I'm looking forward to just chilling out tomorrow. Today has actually been pretty hectic. As far as like using my brain, not that I don't use my brain when I'm doing craft, but you get those moments where they're just a little bit zen, and you know they're a little bit quieter, and you're having a good day. Sorry, I just touched the light and turned it down, and you know you're just having what feels like a cruisy day. But even though you might be super busy and all the rest of it, but when you get on the computer, Oh my God. It's just, it's like a time vortex. It just sucks everything away. And it's like, really? Where did my day go? I feel like I've got nothing done, but in actual fact, you've got a lot done. The other thing I'm excited for too is the Women's Prize for Fiction announcement is happening today as well. So I will have my books I will have my list of books of what I'm going to be reading for the next 4 weeks. So that is exciting as well. I'm actually like, I finished up To Kill a Mockingbird today. Now, I haven't really talked about these. I've read a couple of books in the last couple of days and weeks, but I haven't really talked about them over on Dusty Book Sniffers, because the simple fact is that I wanted to rest from filming and all that sort of stuff. But I will eventually be talking about them over there. But I didn't want to go there. What did I go there for? I want to go up one again, Nicole. It's in the right space, yeah. Yep. Sorry, I just had to count and make sure I was in the right space. Going diagonal this way always trips me up for some reason. So yeah, I read To Kill a Mockingbird years ago. Like, it'd have to be like, I never read it in school. I didn't get to the grade level that was being studied. And I read it, I would have had to have been, it'd have to be over 20 years ago. I was either in my late 20s or early 30s when I read it. I've had it for quite a long time, the book and whatnot. Savannah now has my copy, but I got a copy because I actually liked the cover better because it had the bird on the front. And so yeah, anyway, I read it back when I never did audiobooks, and it was okay, but it wasn't my favorite book, let's say. Let's just put it that way, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, right. And yeah, so it wasn't exactly my favorite book. I thought it was okay, and all that sort of stuff. But there's a book club that I'm sort of participating in, and it's called the FOMO Book Club, and they're reading some, backlisted books and whatnot. So that was pretty cool. And so I thought, oh, well, I'll give it another read. I haven't, oh, that's what I've done wrong. I'm like, that doesn't look right. Why does that not look right? Anyway, this is what I mean. Like, I've got to keep on the ball when I'm doing Stitch with Me's and I'm yapping away. So anyway, I thought, you know what, I'll pick it up again. Why not? Let's give it another go. And I started reading it, and I'm like, well, I read it with my eyeballs last time. What's going on there? I might go and see if the library has the audiobook, because I've got the library apps on my phone and that. So, oh yeah, I might do that. I'll go and see if they've got it. And they did. And Sissy Spacek reads it. I absolutely love listening to her talk. Like when she was in the Coal Miner's Daughter movie, and all that sort of stuff. And she was in Carrie and all that. Like, she's actually one of my, like, not super favorite actresses, but I still really like anything that she's been in. It's always been really good. And so she was reading it, and I absolutely fell into this book this time. There was so much stuff that I had forgotten that was in the book, that I didn't really get the nuance of it. And because she has that southern accent as well, like, there's a lot of problematic words in it and whatnot. Like, there's a lot of people probably wouldn't like reading it because of the way it plays out with the language and stuff like that. But because the N word is used quite a lot. And so, yeah, so some people would probably get a little bit jarred by that, and I appreciate that and understand that. But yeah, it was such an interesting revisit of the book, because I distinctly remember last time that I wasn't really enthralled by it, like I read it because I felt like I should read it. And like the content and the story and everything was great. Like I understand like the premise of the book and everything like that. I wasn't as engrossed as having someone read it to me. I just felt a lot more connected to the story. Or it's maybe that, you know, I appreciate it a bit more now than what I did back then, you know. Like I was only sort of dabbling into classics and stuff like that back then, and like, I mean, I'd read a couple of things at school and whatnot, but I hadn't read that. And I feel like, I don't know, just maybe this was the right time for me to read it, I guess. And so I appreciate it a little bit more, and I took my time with it as well. Like if you've been around for a while, you know that I read books pretty fast. I actually read this over 4 days. And I just read a little bit at a time, and I slowed the book right down, and I'm not a huge fan of that because it actually does put me to sleep quite a bit. I do have to speed my audiobooks up, but to be fair, even when I'm watching YouTube and things like that, I actually speed up my the playback speed because I find it that people talk too slow. I mean, you've heard I talk pretty fast. And all that sort of stuff. So, I don't know. Sometimes it's nothing, the content's great and all that sort of stuff, but they talk too slow for me. So I have to speed it up. I just guess my brain processes things a little bit quicker. So when I'm listening to an audiobook, I have to speed them up. And it's hard when I want to listen to an audiobook with me, or I can tell you, because she slows them right down and I feel like I'm going to sleep while listening to them. So, but yeah, I had this one sped up, but not overly sped up, not to my normal speed and whatnot, and I really enjoyed it. Like I just had a good time with it. And I mean, the content's pretty heavy, and you know, the dialogue's pretty heavy as well, but I still enjoyed reading the book and making that connection, I guess, is the thing. Like, because I felt like I had a disconnect from it because it was sort of coming back to me as I was reading it, and I'm like, oh, I remember feeling a little bit disconnected in this section, and you know, and oh, that makes so much more sense now. Like, you know, whether I had been distracted by the kids or, you know, something like that, and I missed a little nuance of the sentence, or, you know, I just missed something, you know, like we sometimes do that when we're reading and there's lots of distractions around you and stuff. So I felt like this time, because I was immersively reading it. So when I read an audiobook, and I've got the physical book, what happens is I play the audiobook in my ear, but at a lower volume, and it's like I'm actually reading the words. I'm reading along with it. And it's actually my preferred way of reading classics, because I immerse myself, because the language is different, you know, different words mean different things, and hearing it said and reading it at the same time actually helps me to understand you know, obscure words that aren't used anymore, you know, to understand what their meaning is in a sentence, and the sentence structure and all that sort of stuff, and the form of the book and everything. It can really help enhance my reading experience, and it also helps me retain more information. But I don't have it so, like if there's noise or anything like that, I will also, it will distract me because it's not very loud in my ear. It's more that I'm reading along, but that voice is actually keeping me on track. So yeah, so I did that this time, and I mean, it was Sissy Spacek as well. So I'm like, thank you very much. I will do that. It didn't cost me anything for the audiobook. And so I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. And her voice, like, even though, like, you know, she's telling the story, like she's reflecting back in the story of when her father defended a Negro man, and basically she's talking about her experience of growing up and all that sort of stuff in this small town in southern United States. I'm trying to think of the name. That's the only thing that's escaping me. But names and everything do escape me at times. I found it very interesting that the children called their father not by father, but they called him Atticus, like by his first name, and how he was so gentle and he was gentle parenting them. That considering when this book was written, you know, there wasn't a lot of gentle parenting and whatnot. And so I found that aspect of it quite interesting for the time of the book, if that makes sense. And of course the topic around the book as well, with the falsely accused man and Atticus being appointed to him. And why he was appointed to him and all the little nuance. And I sort of missed a lot of that, I guess. You know, like I did have young kids back then, so it's not surprising. They were little interrupters and all that sort of stuff. But there was just so much more. Maybe it's a book that you do need to read a couple of times to get out of it what you want. But I closed the book today and I thought to myself, you know what? I wouldn't mind rereading this and doing a little bit of annotation and all that sort of stuff. And I don't normally write in my books, but I actually did write in my book today because there was a passage in there where the children had just gone to church with Cal, and they were walking home from church, and the children were talking to her about how she talked different around her family and her friends and all that sort of stuff, and then she talked more like a white person around the white people and all that sort of stuff, and they were trying to understand why she did that. And there was a little bit of a passage in there about, you know, just because you know that you can, it doesn't mean that you have to, because they said, you know, but you know better, why don't you speak you know, instead of, you know, essentially speak more like a white person, you know, and use proper English and all that sort of stuff is what they was indicating in the book. And the kids were trying to understand why she wouldn't. If she already knew how to speak properly, why didn't she speak properly? And basically she said, because sometimes when you do that, it can infuriate people because they feel like that they're less than you. And so she wants them to feel comfortable. She doesn't want to be ostracized by her own people and all that sort of stuff. So there was a lot of little nuances in the book that I must have missed in the first one. And yeah, and so I like it that way. I found that passage very interesting because I find myself, I sometimes do that. I won't talk a particular way because I'm with a particular group of people. I will much rather, you know, assimilate to them and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it was quite interesting that, and how it was done was very interesting as well. The kids, you know, asking her, well, why are you doing that? Like, why would, you know better is what Jem said to her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 is this one. So yeah, it was quite interesting, the little nuances and, you know, and also just the kids trying to understand their world around them. And I really like the fact that Atticus wasn't condescending to the children in the book as well. Like, they would ask questions and he would answer them. And he got there was one section which I completely missed the first time around, where someone basically, I think it was to Scout. No, actually it was to Jem, sorry. There was a situation that happened and the adult essentially lied to Jem and didn't give him all the information. And Atticus got quite upset about it and said, you shouldn't have done that. You know, if a child asks you a question, you should answer them honestly, because children are the first to understand that you've lied to them, stuff like that. And so as I was reading this book, and I think I was only a young mother when I read it, so I actually think I might have only had my first 2 kids. So it may be over 25 years ago that I read this. And so from a parent's point of view, topic aside, just the little themes that were in there about gentle parenting, you know, because the kids say, you know, Atticus has never raised a hand to us or anything like that. And, you know, he always tells us, like, even to the fact that when Scout went to school, that's the girl character, the young girl character, when she went to school, She went to first grade and she could read and she could write. And her teacher was like, you are not to do that anymore at home. You are not to be taught that. Now, both Cal and Atticus, Cal is the housekeeper that helps raise the children because Atticus is a single father. His wife and mother of the children had died. And so Cal was there as a housekeeper, and he's seen her as part of the family and all that sort of stuff. And so basically the Cal would teach her how to write and all that sort of stuff, and Atticus had never discouraged her from reading or anything because he's quite an avid reader. In fact, the whole house is quite educated. He's also a lawyer and stuff like that. So there's always been books and all that sort of stuff. So it was quite interesting to hear the teacher, you're not allowed to learn anymore. There was also, the schoolyard bullying was quite prevalent and all that sort of stuff. But what struck me the most, apart from the subject matter in the book, which was quite heart-wrenching and hard to read, and just a couple of times I'm like, had to stop reading and just thought to myself, this is just so terrible. Like the things that the prejudice against this person and, the false accusations and, and all that sort of stuff. And, but what struck me even more was the fact that this whole gentle parenting from exactly like when this book was written, which I cannot think of the date off the top of my head, it was many years ago. I think it's over 50 years old, this book, 50 or 60 years old. So it was quite interesting because the time that wasn't the case for a lot of children. They didn't get that gentle parenting. They didn't get the education. And that was also highlighted in this book as well. Like, people that were really poor, because it was depicted in the time of the Depression as well. Or just after the Depression. And there was, talk of Hitler and all that sort of stuff. And there was also the talk of one of the teachers who was dead set against Hitler and was saying that the Jews were being persecuted, and she was so irate about it and all the rest of it. But in the same time, Jem had heard her talk really derogatory about the African Americans and basically, as they were referred to as Negroes, and the other word as well in the book. So it's really hard to talk about this because, you don't want to offend people by reading this book, but it's still an important book to read. And it was very interesting how everything was depicted in this. Like he could see the contradictions between in the people and can see their prejudice, and Atticus was sort of the guiding light for them because he kept saying to him, you treat everybody with kindness, you don't do that, you don't do this, this is why you shouldn't do it, this is why people do this. Like there was always this explanation every time the children asked a question. They got an answer, and it was an honest answer, and or as honest as it could be for what Atticus knew, and and how he walked in life, and how also like everybody treated him because he was court appointed, and he took on the case, and even the women that were in it and how they presented themselves to the people that they were mingling with, to behind closed doors while they were away, how they were reacting to things. There was a little snippets of that, and what was expected of Scout and what's expected of Jem, and even down to punishments and everything. Jem reacted really badly to one of the older women in the county that basically was abusing the children as they walked past about their father representing Tom, I think his name was, and basically Jem lost the plot and annihilated all her camellias. And so even with him losing his cool after Atticus told him not to, you keep a level head, you show respect, all this sort of stuff, don't react to her, and he lost it, basically he didn't get flogged for it or anything like that, whereas a lot of other books, the switch would have been pulled out. They would have been, you know, whipped within inch of their life and all the rest of it. So it was very interesting that all these years ago this book was written, when it was that sort of thing that happened in reality, that this person, Lee Harper, has written this book. And it's such a gentle book in a way, even though it's harsh content. Does that make sense? Like, I was quite surprised this time that I took that away. Why? I don't know. I don't know why I didn't take away that in the first book, but the first time I read it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, cool. Okay, just making sure. Double count, triple count. Don't want my tree to be a little bit lopsided. But yeah, so that's what I have done over the last couple of days. But the Women's Prize for Fiction is going to be announced very soon, and I'm super excited for it. But yeah, that's, yeah, I don't know, I was just really surprised by this book, considering the first time around I didn't really like it, and this time I actually adored it. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I immersively read it this time, and I think that that's made all the difference. And because the voice of the actress that was Sissy Spacek, and she has that southern accent, so, you know, because yeah, everything just aligned, is what I'm trying to say, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, but anyway, I have been prattling on for 35 minutes, so rather than keep you super long today, I think that I will wrap this up as soon as I finish doing this branch, and yeah, we can get on with the rest of our day and whatnot. It's going to, I thought I had heaps more to do on this row. So yeah, it's going to go pretty quick because I'm onto border not long after I finish this tree, and I haven't done this leg yet because I'll get to the top and then I'll come back in, and then I'll come down and finish that off. So next time you see it, I might even be finished this row. You just never know. I do have to sit up a bit later tonight, so I'll probably stitch a little bit later because Savannah will be getting here around 9 o'clock, and I'd like to be awake to say hello to her. I've got to order her pizza at 8 o'clock. So she got something to eat when she comes in, because she won't have eaten. She probably just had a snack. So yeah. But I am super relieved that her uni classes were cancelled and she decided to come home, because as a mum, you know, like, I was quite concerned that she was going to be down there. Because she's actually living in a little self-contained unit on a property with a family. But it is actually a big... I think it's like a 10-bay shed, and it's got a mezzanine floor up the top, and there's a couple of rooms up there, and a little lounge room, a little kitchenette for her, perfect for a single person. And then downstairs there's like a little rumpus room area that they've got, and a big TV that she used to use. She doesn't use it anymore because they built her a little purpose built lounge room for her. And but the idea of her being in cyclonic conditions in a tin shed did not sit well with me, I can assure you. All right. Well, I am going to call it a day on that. I'm going to do a little bit more on this, of course. But first I've got to edit this video so you can see what's going on with everything. So anyway, you didn't need to know that, but anyway, it's in there. So I'm going to bid you farewell, and I will be back again tomorrow with another daily crafting vlog. But before you go, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to all notifications, and then that way you're not going to miss out on any future posts. And while you're down there, hop, skip, and a jump over to the like button and give the video a like, and leave me a comment down below and let me know what you were working on while we did this stitch with me today. All right, that's it from me today, everybody. Have a wonderful day and happy crafting, and of course I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.